All right, welcome to this daily sidereal forecast for Wednesday, August 19th. My name is Athen. So the moon is still in Virgo here today, all about that analytical energy, like I've been saying, good for taking care of things around the home, self-improvement, work-related things, and really developing these crafts, this self-expression that was this new moon energy last weekend. And developing that, maybe through crafts, through, art, creativity, projects, things like that, where we're taking this newfound sense of self-expression to the next level. But the highlight of the day is certainly going to be Venus trining up to Uranus, which goes exact here about midday for those of us in the States. In the evening for those of you in Europe, and of course, if you're in New Zealand or Australia, I do recommend watching the previous day's video. But with that being said, this is all about, like I've been saying, mixing it up and being open to new experiences. I think depending on our personal charts, this can be maybe some new encounters, maybe some new experiences coming in today, maybe people from the past, things like that, friends or what have you. So I think through that, it can be quite exciting. And I think just wanting to mix up that routine within reason will be important. I say that because the moon is in Virgo opposing up to Uranus in this configuration. So the moon is sort of triggering this. And while I think it has been a time of that more serious sort of day-to-day energy, I think today it's really trying to break through. Good for socializing, good for spending time with our relationships, good for enjoying the simple pleasures of life, and all of that within reason. And I think that's going to be seen by this moon opposing up to Uranus. So I think we might be quite excited today, or at least can be, maybe feeling impulsive is another way of looking at this as well. So it's important with all oppositions up to Uranus to keep both feet firmly on the ground, but still, being open to, unrooting ourselves a little bit so that excitement is there, so there's freedom there, so we can tap into that true self, which is Uranus calling us to do, coming from this very, again, routine-based environment with the moon here. So if you are feeling a little bit stirred up emotionally, if you are feeling excited, staying grounded, and through that naturally, that can be quite exciting when done in a healthy way. Sextile up to Venus generally is always a good time for those one-on-one connections and enjoyments. Venus retrograde does suggest that we are still learning about, what we value, who we value, things like that. So I think being open to that learning will be important through all this, but still the high point is going to be Venus trining that Uranus, and this is always nice for new encounters and experiences. So that's going to be the highlight of the energy, but as the day unfolds, we will start to feel this Mercury opposing up to Chiron. So this will be exact tomorrow. But here it's natural for us to go through a sort of period where our communications, our thinking, and our intellect in some regards goes through a healing process. And usually with Chiron, it is this insecurity about it, which really is just within. It's not that we are inept in communication or thinking and writing or whatever it might be, just our thinking abilities. It's more that we actually think we are. In other words, we actually feel wounded, but we're actually not. We're actually very adept in those areas. So I always say that with Chiron, to be aware of that, and also to be open to learning more about how you're communicating, how you're thinking, things like that, because it's through that learning that Chiron, the archetype, was able to become the healer. So I think being observant of those faculties of ourselves and of our experiences will be important, but remembering that usually this is just an internal insecurity, and it's not usually something manifested per se. So it's really about working through inner blocks, inner inhibitions about those communications and thoughts. So being aware of that, learning, and I think naturally we'll go through a sort of healing, especially tomorrow when this aspect goes exact. But still, in a nutshell, I think it is a good time for socializing. I think it is generally a good time for communication, especially when it comes to expressing our ideas, which has been Mercury in Leo, who now rules this part of the chart that the moon is in. So letting that passion out, and again, we're working at this self-expression. This is Virgo working on this new moon in Leo energy, working on our passions, if you will, and really that new freshness about life that we've had over the weekend, grounding it, living it, embodying it, and with that trine up from Uranus, I think really being open to the importance of having obviously everything nice and structured in our life, which is Virgo, but also having the thrill of uncertainty, the thrill of, that Pisces energy, which is Uranus as transit, which is the unknown. That there's a larger divine plan at work here that goes beyond just our immediate environment. So being open to that, I think, is a good way of looking at this, and being open to our relationships, encounters, the simple pleasures, enjoyments today, I think can be a good way of working with these energies within balance, of course, not neglecting either, the work or whatever it is that we might need to take care of today, which is the moon in Virgo. So all in all, I think that's the gist of the day. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.